Hello, children of God. I pray that you are having an amazing day today. And if you are not, I pray that things will sincerely shift for you in Jesus' name. I'm coming to you very briefly. I have a prayer meeting that I have to get on in about 15 minutes, but I do want to share this with you. Spending time with the Lord, He revealed a scripture to me that blessed me. The interpretation I received, I believe that it will truly bless you. I'm reading out of the NIV version, and it is 2 Kings chapter 4. Shunammite's son restored to life. One day, Elisha went to Shunem, and a well-to-do woman was there, and who urged him to stay for a meal. So whenever he came by, he stopped there to eat. She said to her husband, "I know this man who often comes our way is a holy man of God. Let's make a small room on the roof and put in it a bed and a table and a chair and a lamp for him. He can stay there whenever he comes to us." One day Elisha came. He went up to his room and lay down there. He said to his servant Gehazi, "Call the Shunammite." So he called her, and she stood before him. Elisha said to him, "Tell her, you have gone to all this trouble for us. Now, what can be done for you? Can we speak on your behalf to the king of the commander of the army?" She replied, "I have a home among my own people." So he said, what can be done for?" Elisha asked. Gehazi said, "She has no son, and her husband is old." Then Elisha said, "Call her." So he called her, and she stood in the doorway. "About this time next year," Elisha said, "you will hold a son in your arms." "No, my lord," she objected. "Please, man of God, don't mislead your servant." In present time, she said, "Don't play with me. Don't play with me like that. Don't lie to me. Don't do that," basically. But the woman became pregnant. And the next year, about that same time, she gave birth to a son, just as Elisha had told her. The child grew, and one day he went out to his father, who was with the reapers. He said to his father, "My head, my head." His father told the servant, "Carry him to his mother." You see, the jobs of a mama. After the servant had lifted him up and carried him to his mother, the boy sat on her lap until noon. Okay, and then he died. She went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, then shut the door and went out. She called her husband and said, "Please send me one of the servants and a donkey so I can go to the man of God quickly and return." "Why go to him today?" he asked. "It's not the new moon or the Sabbath." "That's all right," she said. She saddled the donkey and said to her servant, "Lead on. Don't slow down for me unless I tell you." So she set out and came to the man of God at Mount Carmel. When he saw her in the distance, the man of God said to his servant Gehazi, "Look, there's the Shunammite. Run to meet her and ask her, are you all right? Is your husband all right? Is your child all right?" "Everything is all right," she said. Or in the King James Version, I believe she said, "It is well." And I like that. When she reached the man of God at the mountain, she took hold of his feet. Gehazi came over to push her away, but the man of God said, "Leave her alone. She is in bitter distress, but the Lord has hidden it from me and has not told me." "Did I ask you for a son, my Lord?" she said. "Didn't I tell you? Don't raise my hopes." Elisha said to Gehazi, "Tuck your cloak in your belt, take my staff in your hand and run. Don't greet anyone you meet, and if anyone greets you, do not answer. Lay my staff on the boy's face." But the child's mother said, "As surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you." So he got up and followed her. Gehazi went on ahead and laid the staff on the boy's face, but there was no sound or response. So Gehazi went back to meet Elisha and told him, "The boy has not awakened." I got 9 minutes. I might just have to be able to read it and then come back because it's so loaded, and I just really want y'all to receive the revelation that I did, and if not, whatever the revelation that God will have for you, that you would be blessed by it. So Gehazi went on ahead and laid the staff on the boy's face, but there was no sound or response. So Gehazi went back to meet Elisha and told him the boy is not awakened. When Elisha reached the house, there was the boy lying dead on his couch. He went in, shut the door on the two of them, and prayed to the Lord. Then he got on the bed and lay on the boy, mouth to mouth, eyes to eyes, hands to hands. As he stretched himself out on him, the boy's body grew warm. Elisha turned away and walked back and forth in the room, and then got on the bed and stretched out on him once more. The boy sneezed 7 times and opened his eyes. Elisha summoned Gehazi and said, "Call the Shunammite." And he did. When she came, he said, "Take your son." She came in, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. Then she took her son and went out. She was able to recognize a man of God. She recognized Elisha as a holy man of God. And it even says she urged him to stay for a meal. So she wanted to bless him. It said, well, well-to-do woman. So her and her husband, they were well off, indicating she wasn't poor. And she made a room on the roof and put a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp. She wanted to bless the man of God. She recognized him as a man of God. And she wanted to provide some type of comfort, to be some type of help, some type of aid on his journey whenever she came that way. And they made her a room. And the man of God thought of her. This lets us know that we can just be who we are without being hyper spiritual and receive a spiritual blessing by unlocking spiritual principles. But it's just who she was. Clearly, she was willing to feed him, and then she made him a little cozy room, an area where he can be and be comfortable and know he's gonna be all right when he's doing whatever he's doing and coming through and basically being about his father's business. And she was remembered. But the fact that when he sent Gehazi to go ask her, what can be done for her? Do you want favor, basically, with government? And she said, I already have a home among my own people. So he said, what can be done for her? And that's when Gehazi told her she has no son, her husband is old. Okay, so 2 and 2, she want a baby. So, and preferably a son because of the lineage aspect, right? And so when he told her about this time next year, you'll hold a son in your arms. She said, no, my Lord. This is another indication that when they see men of God, they knew they weren't just interacting with a mere man. They respected the Lord in them. This is honor. This is honor. It's just really amazing to me that the woman was the one who recognized the man to be a man of God. The woman was the one who wanted to bless him. The woman was the one who wanted to feed him. And the woman was the one who wasn't expecting nothing in return, because she could have said, well, yeah, you can give me this and that. But she said, I already have a home among my own people. The Bible said she was a well-to-do woman, but he called for her. He didn't send for her husband. He called for her, and her intentions had to have been pure, because when he asked her, how can I bless you? And found out that she didn't have a child. She told him, don't play with me. Please don't play with me, man of God. No, my Lord, don't play with me. Don't get my hopes up for something if it ain't gonna happen. If it's not gonna come through, just don't even do it. So that would indicate that she had the right intentions and pure motives when she was serving this man of God, which is something we should do, because a lot of people, I notice, they like to do certain things to, get on the good side of the man of God, so the man of God can see them, or they can get this type of position or honor or just acknowledgement from the man of God, and therefore everybody else consequently in the church. But just being your honest, truthful self. If you're a servant at heart, you serve without expectation. And that is what she exuded. She exuded strength as well. And it did come to pass. By the time next year, she was holding her son. And it seems as if her son had gotten older and something happened to where he went to his daddy and was hollering by his head. And his daddy told his servant, carry him to his mama. I'm sure he did because he said he was already old before she had the baby. So he was even older at this point, and obviously the boy was able to talk. So he said, carry him to his mother. That lets you know that promise was given to this woman. And it was that responsibility was given back to her. That she wanted this son. It's her son. Go give him to his mom, so she can see about him, so she can see what's wrong with him. This is my interpretation, okay? The things that we receive from God, there is a level of responsibility that comes with it. It is. So that's what the man of God sent him back. The woman of God's husband sent it back to her. And it said that after the servant had lifted him up, carried him to his mother, the boy sat on her lap until noon. And then he died. Passed away on her lap. The promise that she had went on by her life, and I'm sure she wasn't even like, at this point, she hadn't had a son all this long while, so it was like, I'm gonna be all right without it. They consider her well-to-do. She had servants, donkeys. So she had made something of herself. She was even able to create a small room for the prophet. So she had accomplished things in her life, financially. But that desire for a son, she had buried it. She had suppressed it. And she was going to be all right if it didn't happen, though she would have liked for it to have happened. So there are things that God has given us a desire for, and as time has went on, we just think the circumstances have not been in favor of that thing. So we suppress it, so we won't be disappointed, or we won't feel like we're missing out, or we won't have to have faith for it. We suppress it. And we act like it doesn't exist, though it's there. I know a lot of women, I've seen people make comments, and women and even men make comments, well, I'm going to be single forever. I don't need no man. I don't want no man. I don't need no woman. I don't trust these women, But that desire they have for a spouse is there. It was God-given, but they have suppressed it because in their finite minds, they don't believe that real love can happen to me. Pure love can happen to me. Honest love can happen to me. Somebody can love me for me and not be expecting things and not trying to be a gold digger and not trying to cheat and dog me and play me and use me and abuse me. Like, I can't have love without hidden motives in this society. There's no more real women. There's no more real men. This type of men don't like these type of women, and people will begin to just try to suppress that God-given desire to make themselves feel better and like they're not missing out on something. But God will bring it back to surface. And when he brings it back to surface, you like, God, like, why? I had gotten over it. I was going to be straight without it. Like, why? Just why? And you're faced to deal with it again. And the hope of it actually working, but the fear of what if it doesn't. And this is how this woman felt. She was all right going on without it. The the pain from not having that, she had put that pain aside and found pride and peace into the other accomplishments and things that she were able to see tangibly fulfilled. But God still caused it to resurface. The desire that was there all along, just suppressed. And because of fear and complacency, the fear of the unknown, the fact she was going to have to trust God, because she knew it was no way she would be able to do it. It hadn't been done already, and her husband was old. So God, just don't even get my hopes up. Just, oh Lord, please don't do me like that. And the very promise that she had suppressed and was going to be all right with it not coming to pass. Died in a very intimate way. It didn't die somewhere where she couldn't see it pass. It didn't die where, oh my gosh. The promise didn't die off somewhere to where she didn't have to witness it. She had to see it slowly die. She had to feel the life getting sucked out of it. She had to witness the power, the strength become minimal in the very promise she had chosen to suppress, and cried out and said, Lord, don't play with me, God. I'm going to be all right. But that very promise died in a very intimate and personal way. She had to witness it and experience the death of something she was afraid to believe in the first place. She was heartbroken. She was heartbroken. I'm going to have to come back because I have to go on my prayer line. But I'll be back.